Fuck, sighed Adam as he flopped, bruised, onto the bed in his room. Slip had given him the runaround in the ring for the past 2 hours, and he was now waiting for the judiciously applied bruise cream to do its job. Fucking hell, he muttered as he closed his eyes. Really need to get that girl laid. A soft chuckle from his right let him know that, in point of fact, he was not alone in his room. He opened his right eye and looked in the direction of the noise to find Classy seated in the study desk chair, with a large box on her lap, grinning bemusedly. "Who's getting laid?" she asked, grin widening. "Ah, fuck. Slip really did a number on me in the ring. I think she's a bit pissed at how she hasn't had a turn yet." "While I understand how she feels, I'm sure she'll be fine in the long run," she replied dismissively. "Tell that to my ribs," Adam returned with a chuckle, lying his head back on the pillow. "Your ribs should be lovely by this evening, yes?" she inquired, laughter evident in her tone. "Otherwise, this lovely gift I have for you would have to wait until the next time my family drags me to some Turok shit gala." Adam's eyes shot open, his natural curiosity piqued by the offer of a gift. He sat up with a groan and turned his legs off to the side of the bed to face her, crooking a brow as he sat pensively. "Well?" he asked, holding his hands up in a questioning gesture. "Oh, so you will be well enough to join me tonight?" she asked in a mocking tone. "I was afraid I'd have to announce our engagement by myself." "Yeah, I'm good to go. Now, what is it?" he pleaded, as she bit her lip to hold back her ever-widening smile. "Go shower. I'll leave it on the bed for when you get back," she said with a chuckle, pointing to the attached bathroom. "God fucking damn it, Indy," he chortled, as he rose to his feet and walked to the bathroom, stripping out of his issued PT top, in full view of Classy. "Rude," she muttered, as he closed the door behind him. Adam returned from his longer-than-normal shower to find something he did not expect lying on the bed. "The fuck?" he asked no one as he strode up to the bed, where an outfit consisting of a silver conquistador-style helmet with a gold trim, a puffy shirt with purple and white strips of fabric sewn to the sleeves and torso, atop a deep blue undershirt. A large leather belt with several pouches varying in size sat in the middle, and that was followed by pants that matched the shirt, a long greave that reached the upper thigh, and polished black boots. He was disappointed to find that the helm, greaves, and gauntlets were a very dense canvas instead of actual steel, but it still looked interesting, to say the least. After spending a few minutes to figure out how everything fit together, he finally got the floofy number on properly. After checking himself out in the mirror several times, he headed down the hall to Class's room. The unit had all been issued separate rooms, but Adam's room had suspiciously been prepared with a massive bed, at least compared to the ones in everyone else's rooms. He knocked on Indara's door and heard the footsteps from the other side, before it opened to reveal the mountain of a woman dressed in a similar outfit to his. Hers had deep blue strands of fabric atop a golden undershirt and pants, a purple sash adorning her waist atop several belts. The primary difference between her outfit and his was the headpiece. Where his was a conquistador-style helmet, he didn't actually know the name. Hers was a puffy number of the same blue and gold fabric, sat slightly canted on her head like a beret. She looked absolutely gorgeous, causing Adam to stare dumbly up at her with a slack jaw and wide eyes. She grinned down at him, her tucked maw parting as she softly cupped his jaw and leaned down to kiss him. Breaking the kiss after a few seconds, she stepped back and did a small spin with her arms out to the side. "What do you think?" she asked, grinning widely as she finished her spin. Holy shit, you look good," he exclaimed, running his gaze up and down her body, the puffy outfit belying the curves underneath. Adam refocused on her eyes, now giving him a knowing grin. "What made you choose the outfits?" "Well, when I was on your world, I spent quite a bit of my time studying your military history, in the hopes of gaining a tactical advantage over your tacticians," she said, gesturing for him to walk deeper into her room. "In doing so, I found a style of fighters from several hundred years ago called Langschlecht, and I instantly fell in love with the aesthetic." "Fair enough. But why this for a party? Why not a tuxedo or something?" "Ah, right. Our customs among the nobility are slightly different than your world. It's traditional to wear stylized military uniforms, both of the Chauvanti and our member states. Hence I had these commissioned and tailored as soon as we made the decision for our engagement." She sighed and shrugged. "As much as I wanted to see you play dress-up, I knew my family would eventually call me for something like this." "Well, they look damn good. I feel like I just walked right out of a Renaissance painting," he happily replied. I'm glad you like them, but unfortunately the time for falling over each other is gone. We need to get in the town car my mother sent. Apparently it's outside, she said, looking at the Chauvanti equivalent of a smartwatch on her wrist. We best get going then, said Adam, extending a hand to the door. The pair walked through the halls of the manor in companionable silence, getting the occasional compliment from staff that meandered the halls, along with the usual hungry glances from the house guardswomen, which Adam now tuned out. If he had to guess, though, his outfit made the curious gazes from them longer and harder than usual. In the atrium, Adam walked to open the primary door to the manse when a voice rang out behind him. By the stars, Adam, you look sexy today. Thanks, Sal, he called back over his shoulder, meeting the woman's gaze, grinning from the above banister. Remind me to take you somewhere fancy, especially if it means you getting all pretty for me like that, she called, as he chuckled and exited the door with classy. So, I think your outfit choice is a hit, Adam said softly to his partner. Seems like it. I'd imagine you'd be a hit at the party too. I doubt many have seen a human before, let alone gotten the chance to talk to one. She sighed audibly as they walked through the gardens in front of the house. Adam, we're walking into the Grinshaw's lair right now. The political pressure at the top is very much his own kind of battlefield, and while we're thankfully both far removed from the usual political woes of my family, I don't expect this to go smoothly. Hey, it's gonna be alright, he said, patting her gently on her broad shoulders. If I can handle 4 years of regiment, free fighting you guys, and death's head selection, I can handle anything your family throws at me. Don't take this lightly, she said in a deeply serious tone, turning her head and ensnaring him with her honey-coloured paws set in black sclera. My family will be looking for weakness in any way, in our relationship, in you as a person, and in me. I'm sorry to put you through this. Hey, I don't know royalty, but I'll back your play 100%. Good. There's the car, she said, gesturing to an incredibly fancy-looking vehicle parked out front, with no less than 3 guards standing beside it in decorated marine armour. Shit. Sent the cavalry for us, did they? Adam quietly asked. Well, with the Duchess situation, I'd imagine my family can't be too careful with us not being in our usual attire, she replied with a smirk. I fought for years without the full suit. Hell, I've even fought with no armour before, just a chest rig. Well, do you have an HSC-9 stashed in that lovely outfit somewhere that I can't see? She asked in a light-hearted tone. Wouldn't you like to know? As they approached the vehicle, a guard in the lead stepped forward, snapping a salute to Classy. Princess Indara, I am Sergeant Torxa of the Imperial Guard. We've been sent to escort you to the party. At ease, Sergeant, replied Indara. I am eager to get underway. The sergeant nodded and signalled the 2 other guards, who entered the front of the large vehicle. The sergeant joined the pair in the rear cab, a large rectangular space that resembled the inside of a limousine. Once Adam and Indara were seated, the sergeant rapped twice on the glass behind her head, and he felt the inertial shift as the vehicle began its trek forward. Hindi, it's so good to see you again, the sergeant exclaimed quietly, grinning widely. Torn, how have you been? I feel like it's been forever, and look, you made sergeant. I know. They gave me women to command. That was a mistake, Indara replied in a light-hearted tone, the both of them laughing. Wait, you two know each other? Adam asked, trying to wrap his head around the tonal shift that had just occurred. Yes, dear. Torn here got assigned to be my personal guard when I turned 6. She was just a young private then, more of a sister to me than my actual sister. Oh, don't say that, the guardswoman replied. I just didn't have to worry about politics back then. You know how the royal family is. The woman turned and faced Adam. But who is this absolute beauty you brought with you? I'm Sergeant Adam McGinnis. Good to meet you, he said, extending a fist. Nice to meet you. Mud Branch. I didn't realize they were letting Terrans into the Imperial military yet, Torn replied. They're technically not. I got drafted into the Death's Head. Got out of selection less than 2 weeks ago. You're a Death's Head? How the hell did you meet Indara? Fuck, she doesn't know yet, Adam thought, wincing as he realized he revealed too much. He looked at Classy, who was rolling her eyes, but smiling nonetheless. Well, I met him because he's part of my pod, she said. The sergeant froze, face rapidly shifting emotions as she looked between Adam and Indara. How? She asked in a shocked tone. You are such a quiet and reserved girl, and how did you convince your mother? By completing the required training, yes, I was. And you can thank Aunt Cammy and Grandmother for convincing her. I wanted to earn something for the first goddess damn time in my life. And I fucking did, Indara replied matter-of-factly. And I met Adam because of it. I met friends and now future sisters in marriage for it. People who aren't by my side just because of my family. I couldn't be more proud of you, said Torn. But why come back after all this time? Work, and I had to get this one, she said, gently slapping his leg armor half-heartedly. Out of some serious trouble that required a favor from my mother. She has some stipulations. Oh, and those were? Leave the Death's Head at the end of my term of service and find a husband within the year. Otherwise she picks one for me. Oh, not fun. Wait, no. That's why Adam is here, isn't it? Torm replied with a malicious grin. Precisely, said Indara, returning the same grin. She's going to be mad. She can lick it. I'm abiding by the terms of our agreement. If in a roundabout way, I'll get grandmother involved if she decides to press the issue, she replied with a dismissive wave. The conversation continued between the two women, reminiscing about days spent in the Imperial Palace, Torm playing tutor for a young Indara, and playing video games together. Adam was enjoying learning more about the reclusive woman. She'd been decidedly evasive about her past, probably not wanting the team to know how privileged her upbringing had been. She'd grown up a quiet nerd in a cutthroat lifestyle, and it explained much about her. He gazed out the thick, deeply tinted windows around the vehicle, defaulting to his old habits of pulling security, even though they had a detail with them. After several turns, he clocked the same purple truck following them from a distance, making all the turns they did. It wasn't hard. The Shorvanti had a robust public transport system, made up of far too many large buses. In the sea of public transport vehicles, one singular vehicle following them definitely was easy to pick out. Easier than it was on Earth, at least. Every turn through the 30-minute drive on the highway and surface streets, this vehicle made. When they finally pulled up to an absolutely massive structure, decorated with deep purple banners, gold trim and black insignia and crests on the walls, the vehicle finally stopped. Unfortunately, so did they. Hey, Torn, you have a chase vehicle? Second security team following us? Adam asked, breaking the laughter the other two were sharing. No, I don't. What's up? Back my play. Prepare to lay covering fire, Adam said, quickly exiting the vehicle as the sergeant scrambled and shouted from his side to stay put, and let her team take care of it. He absolutely wasn't going to. He had a sneaking suspicion who the vehicle's occupant was. In his mind, it was either one of the women following him to make sure he was alright, or the assassins from earlier. He really hoped it was just an overprotective slip or cell. He straightened his outfit and strode up to the vehicle, which hadn't moved. He rapped gently on the passenger side window, stepped back, and crossed his arms. Much to his surprise, the answer to his unasked question was neither. Hello, Adam. Lovely weather we're having, isn't it? Came the alto voice of Sir Miller, the bar owner and gambling lord. The fuck?